Welcome inside Rice-Eccles Stadium for the 136th year of Michigan football. Live from Salt Lake City, Utah, I am Leo Blavin. Michigan taking on Utah tonight in the debut as Michigan head coach for Jim Harbaugh. These two teams met a year ago, Utah coming out on top, winning 26-10, a game that featured a 2.5-hour delay in the fourth quarter due to severe thunderstorms. No such issue tonight. Clear skies and sunny here at this high elevation venue that is Rice-Eccles Stadium. Both teams awaiting their chance to come out onto the field to start this one off. Michigan will be in all white uniforms, a look we haven't seen since the 1970s, as Michigan in the white pants, white tops with blue numbers. Utah going all red tonight to match their fan base. It is a red out here in Salt Lake City. Just a few minutes away from kickoff in the much-anticipated debut for Jim Harbaugh, a man who became the head coach in early January, and Michigan has been the team paid most attention to by the national press and by fans across the country as the man in khaki pants returns to the venue he once played quarterback, and now he returns as head coach. Utah has had 31 consecutive sellouts here at Rice-Eccles Stadium. They will certainly continue that streak tonight as a sold-out crowd, many maize and blue shirts scattered among the sea of red here. Michigan, this will be their first ever visit to Salt Lake City. The last time they played in any venue in the Mountain Time Zone was the 2013 Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl when they were in Tempe, Arizona, and they lost to Kansas State in that one. Utes are 71-49-1. all-time in season openers, and 53-19-1 when the season opener takes place at home. As for Michigan, they have compiled a 111-win, 21-loss, 3-tie record in season openers. When they go on the road in a season opener, they are 16-5-1. Michigan, we still don't know who the starting quarterback will be tonight. It'll be interesting to see how a lot of Michigan's depth chart plays out in reality tonight, as Michigan left a lot of ands and a lot of ors on the depth chart, leaving it fairly unclear who would in fact get the start in many position slots. But the biggest question mark of them all, will it be Shane Morris or will it be Jake Rudock? We will find out soon enough here as we are moments away from kickoff. Utah's band clears the field, and we're just about set to get underway from Salt Lake City, Utah. Michigan again finished 5-7 a year ago, missing a bowl game. Brady Hoke's tenure now done in Michigan. Jim Harbaugh takes over this team, and Utah coming off an impressive 9-4 season a year ago. Something to keep an eye on, as it always is the conditioning of both these two teams, especially given the altitude here, 4,657 feet above sea level is where they'll play this game tonight. Michigan will be kicking off first to Utah to start this game off. It'll be Kenny Allen handling the kickoff duties for Michigan. The Sea of Red on their feet, about ready to get this one underway and kick off Michigan's new regime under Jim Harbaugh. Utah will be going from left to right. Kenny Allen will kick off from the far hash marks. Corey Butler-Bird back deep to receive, and he will have no chance in this elevation. That goes well into the back of the end zone, so Utah will start this one on the 25-yard line. Michigan returns a lot of experience on defense, a unit that struggled in the turnover department, but was one of the better defenses in the nation in yards per game allowed. New defensive coordinator DJ Durkin will be leading, comes over from the University of Florida. Starting for Utah at quarterback will be Travis Wilson, who had success against the Wolverines last year, coming back into the game after being injured early on to help lead Utah to that victory. First snap is underway, and it's a keeper for Travis Wilson, who gets about 4 yards on the early carry. Brought down by Desmond Morgan. Morgan played in only one game last year before suffering an injury, so the experienced leader, welcome back to this team surely, is this time another quarterback keeper for Wilson. He gets to the second level and is brought down after a first down at the 43-yard line. So Utah picks up an early first down to move the chains and get near midfield. Utah going up tempo once more. Wilson in the shotgun. Sends his running back Booker to his left hip. Takes the snap. Reads this one, hands it off. Instead, he'll keep it, and he is brought down. Swarm of Michigan shirts in the backfield. They had that one very well read. Willie Henry responsible for covering up Booker, and then several players led by Channing dribbling in the backfield to wrap up Wilson for a loss of 3. Second and 12 for Utah. Wilson in the shotgun, takes the snap, drops back, fires it out to Booker. Booker gets upfield, and he gets to the first down and more, running down the left sideline. Finally brought down by a gang of Michelin tacklers, but not before picking up 20 yards and a first down, getting all the way down to the 38-yard line. So some bad angles taken there on the left side of the field, right in front of the Utah bench, as Booker scooted his way down the sideline for a massive gain to get into Michigan territory. Wilson has 2 receivers out to his right, 1 to his left here for this first down from the 38-yard line. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, fires out to his right. This one complete to Evan Moiai, and he's brought down at the 34-yard line. So Utah's offense rolling here early. Now there's a timeout for injury on the field. And it's the tight end, Moiai, the one who just had the reception. He's shaken up. They're looking at his lower body. 12:47 left to go here in the first quarter from Salt Lake City, Utah. Still scoreless between Michigan and the Utes, as Utah driving here on the first possession of the ballgame. So far on this drive, Travis Wilson 2 for 2 for 25 yards. He's also their only ball carrier so far in the game, 3 attempts for 17 yards. Booker and Moia both with receptions. So certainly not the start Michigan would want from a defensive perspective, as Utah has had no trouble. Just 1 play for negative yardage, but other than that, a lot of big plays, and that's cause for concern here early. It'll be 2nd and 5 when we come back. Ball on the 33-yard line of Michigan. Utah driving here. about ready to get things back underway coming out of the TV timeout. Utah with the ball. 2nd and 5 on the Michigan 33-yard line. Wilson takes the shotgun snap, fires it quickly out to the left to Bubba Poole. Poole picks up a first down and a lot more. Finally knocked out at the 20-yard line. Bubba Poole, who ran all over Michigan a year ago as a running back, and now they'll line him up at fullback and out in the slot receiver position. In a nifty play design there. He was coming in motion. They fired the screen out to him, and he picked up another easy first down. Michigan with no answers defensively on this opening drive from Utah. Utah in the red zone for the first time today. Wilson takes a snap, hands it off to Booker, who never got anything going there. Wrapped up there by Big Willie Henry. Henry had a big game last year against the Utes. 4 tackles, 1 sack, and a big pick 6. Second and 11 now for Utah on the 19-yard line. Wilson takes the snap, hands it off to Booker again, and again, just no room, trying to run right up the middle. Nothing doing. Joe Bolden in there to make the stop. Helmet came off of Ryan Glasgow, so he'll have to be off the field for this 3rd and 9 from the 18 of Michigan. Utah, one of the best kickers in the country, so they'll certainly kick if they're held here. Empty set backfield for Wilson in the shotgun. He's got 5 receivers out wide. Wilson takes a snap, looking left. Plenty of time, fires this one in the direction of Kenneth Scott, who brings it down and is wrapped up immediately. Picked up about 6 on that one, so he was held short. 4th and 3, and that means Andy Phillips will come onto the field. They call him Automatic Andy around these parts. He's one of the best kickers in the nation. First team All Pac-12 a year ago. He was 40 of 48 so far in his career. And he will try this one, a 30-yarder from the left hash marks. Snap good, hold good, kick is up, and it splits the uprights. And Utah strikes first here from Rice-Eccles Stadium. It's the Utes 3, Michigan 0 with 10:30 left to go in the first quarter. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back into Rice Eccles Stadium. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. I'm Leo Blavin. Utah, with an opening drive field goal, takes a 3-0 lead with 10:30 left to go in the first quarter. Michigan will get their first chance on offense. It'll be Andy Phillips to kick off. Back deep to receive for Michigan, Jordan Lewis and DeMonte Thomas. Phillips boots this one away, a low line drive heading towards the far pylon, and it will roll just out of bounds. Fortunate there as that nearly went out of bounds prior to reaching the end zone. But Michigan will start their first drive on offense this season from the 25-yard line with Jake Rudock, the starting man. Rudock transfers in. He had 25 career games at Iowa. He rushed 139 times, or 134 times, I should say, for Iowa, 394 yards and 8 touchdowns, and he completed 417 of his 691 pass attempts for 4,819 yards with 34 touchdowns a year ago. Now he is the head man for the Maize and Blue. I formation for Michigan to start things off. Davion Smith, that dotting the I, and he takes his handoff right up the middle. Nowhere to go. The Utah defense strikes first. Gianni Paul, who had a field day against Michigan a year ago, making the stop there. And this is one of the best front set of sevens in the nation, a great linebacking core led by Paul and Jared Norris. And then a front four, which helped Utah lead the nation in sacks a year ago. They call it Sack Lake City around here. Rudock takes the second snap from the shotgun, fires out to Smith on a screen. He breaks through a few tackles, fumbling down the left sideline, and is forced out of bounds 2 yards short of the first down marker, setting up a 3rd and 2 with 9:52 left to go in the opening quarter. Utah on top 3-0. The Sea of Red on their feet for this 3rd down. Michigan tight in the huddle, and there's an empty backfield for Rudock in the shotgun. He's got Drake Harris split out wide to his left. Looking that way, firing in the direction. It is brought down by Jake Butt, his first reception of the year. First, or I should say second completion now on the drive for Jake Rudock. And it picks up a first down to move the chains for the Maize and Blue. No big plays, nothing fancy just yet. Just hard football by Michigan, but competent play calling to say the least. Now Ty Isaac in the backfield at running back. Rudock under center, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, drops back, looking and firing, and it is nearly intercepted. He tried to fire it to Jake Butt, but there was no room there. Tevin Carter, the big safety, 6'1", 215, in there to break up that one. Michigan quickly back to the line. Isaac in the backfield, a pitch to him. He runs out left. He's got blockers ahead of him, breaks through the first wave of tacklers, and is brought down by Gianni Paul after a pickup of 5. Now some discussions from the referees. From my angle, I didn't see a penalty flag come out, but and Utah with a personal foul penalty called after the play for unnecessary roughness. It was a hit near the sideline, but didn't see much in it, but apparently the hit was a little too late or a little too close to the sideline, and maybe some extracurricular after the play, but that'll give Michigan a first down and 15 yards. Fans don't like the replay they're seeing, but Michigan will take it. Now they're in Utah territory. They will snap this ball from the 44-yard line of the Utes. So Michigan here with a solid drive to start things. Derek Green now in the backfield, so Michigan plays 3 running backs so far in a false start. Jim Harbaugh was plagued by penalties with the 49ers, frequently, if not the most penalized team in the NFL. They were in the top 2 or 3 in Michigan. Their first penalty under Jim Harbaugh is a false start to move them back to the Utah 49-yard line. $8:15 left to go in the opening quarter. Utah on top 3-0. Michigan still on their first offensive drive of the game. Jake Rudock in the shotgun formation, 1st and 15 after the false start penalty. Takes the snap, and there's another flag on the field. And Michigan is gone with their first time out of the game. So Harbaugh seeing something he didn't like or something perhaps he really liked. Nonetheless, they'll take a timeout, and so will we. 8:01 left to go in the first quarter. Utah on top 3-0. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. Welcome back inside Bryce Eccles Stadium. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. I'm Leo Blavin. 8:01 left to go in the first quarter. Utah on top 3-0. Michigan still in their first offensive drive. Jake Rudock so far 2 for 3 for 10 yards. Ty Isaac 1 rush for 5 yards. Davion Smith 1 rush for a yard. And Smith also with a reception for 6 yards. And Jake Butt with a 4-yard reception as well. Travis Wilson on Utah's opening drive went 4 for 4 for 45 yards. Good start for Michigan. Jim Harbaugh calling the first time out of the game after a false start penalty pushed Michigan back. So it'll be 1st and 15 when we get back to action from the Utah 49-yard line. Michigan breaks out of the huddle on the sideline, about ready to get back to action again. 8:01 in the first quarter, 3-0 in favor of the Utes with Michigan starting their first drive of the game. They're now at the 49-yard line of the Utes for this 1st and 15 after the false start penalty. Diamond formation for Rudock under center. Now Khalid Hill breaks out to the left side of the offensive line at tight end. An extra blocking back as he hands it off to Smith, who's wrapped up in the backfield, fighting through tacklers. He will battle his way back to the line of scrimmage, but too many red shirts in the backfield led by Jason Whittingham, who grabbed him, couldn't bring him down, but he slowed him down enough as Davion Smith with some tough running, and that just got him back barely to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 16. Rudock takes the quick snap, firing over the middle. Jake Butt wide open, gets to the 25-yard line where he's finally brought down, but not after picking up a huge gain and a Michigan first down. It'll be a 24-yard connection between Rudock and the big tight end Jake Butt for a big first down. Closing in on that Utah red zone. Michigan will snap this one from the Utah 26. Rudock quickly under center. He's only got one receiver out to his left, 3 men in the backfield. Takes the snap, hands it off to Smith, who's got a hole up the middle. Keeps the legs churning and picks up positive yardage, a gain of 4 there. So a solid first down run. And that'll be big going forward. Michigan, if they can pick up positive yards on first and second down with the running game, takes a lot of pressure off of Jake Rudock. And a lot off this offensive line's pass protection. 2nd and 6 from the Utah 22-yard line. Rudock hands it off to Smith. Same play, running right up the middle again. This time he is planted by Jason Faneca. No gain on that one as Faneca came off the right end and bulldozed into Davion Smith, setting up a 3rd and 5. Crowd on their feet now from the Utah 21-yard line. So Michigan in field goal range, but kicker situation still rather unclear. So this is a big play for the Wolverines, looking to get points their first drive, hoping for it to be a touchdown, but it's 3rd and 5 now. Rudock in the shotgun, 2 receivers out to his left, takes the snap, drops back, looking to his right, fires in miscommunication, and it is intercepted by the Utes. He simply never found his intended target. Grant Perry had done a little dig route. He was looking for him to cut to the sideline. He wasn't there. The Utah defender was, and it was intercepted by Corey Butler-Bird. And this was a player who started fall camp for Utah at wide receiver. They converted him defensive back, and he gets the first interception of the season for Utah and the first turnover in this game. A tough one for the Wolverines. And Utah will take over from their own 14-yard line when we come back. 5:48 left to go in the first quarter. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. Utah on top, 3-0. Welcome back to Salt Lake City, Utah. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. I'm Leo Blavin. Utah on top 3-0 with 5:48 left to go in the first quarter. Michigan's drive stopped on a 3rd and 5 as Jake Rudock and Grant Perry had a miscommunication. The ball was intercepted by Corey Butler-Bird. So Utah takes over at their own 14-yard line. Efficient drive on the first opening series for Utah as they drove down the field and got an easy field goal. Michigan's defense responded well once it got to the red zone, but Utah had no trouble getting there. They start this one in worst field position on their own 14. Wilson takes the shotgun snap, fakes the handoff to Booker, fires out to the right. Bubba Poole gets it in space, running in lots of open room and gets down to the 20-yard line. Pickup of 6 on first down. Bubba Poole, the speedy slot back. They'll use him in a lot of different ways, much like a Percy Harvin role. Bubba Poole lined up on the wide right side of the field. 4 receivers split out wide for Wilson. Poole comes in motion. Snap taken. This time it's handed off to Booker, who breaks through the first tackle and is wrapped up shortly thereafter. It was Joe Bolden there to make the initial hit, but he couldn't wrap him up, and he was finally brought down by Matthew Godin. Sets up a 3rd and 3 from the Utah 21-yard line. Three receivers split out wide to the right. Wilson in the shotgun formation. He's got Booker on his left hit. Takes the snap, hands it off to Booker, who's wrapped up immediately. Chris Wormley with the big hit. Brought down for a loss of 1, and Utah will be forced to punt. Wormley shed his blocker, no problem, and brought down Booker immediately, and that's a hard thing to do. Devontae Booker, one of the best running backs in the nation after contact. He had 815 yards a year ago after contact. So something to be said about Wormley bringing him down with such ease. And now Utah will punt with the Ray Guy winner from a year ago, Tom Hackett, the best punter in the nation. And a booming high kick, but a short one there. Jabril Peppers sprints underneath it. Rolling fair catch, and it's brought down at the 45. So not letting him return it, but not the best punt either from Hackett. And Michigan will start this next drive from their own 45-yard line when we come back. 3:48 left to go in the opening quarter. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. 3-0. Utes lead. Welcome back. Michigan starting their second drive of the game. Jake Rudock under center. He will hand this one off to Ty Isaac. Rolling out the right side, but no room there as he's brought down by a swarm of Utah tacklers led by, once again, Gianni Paul. 61 tackles last year for Paul, who ended last season after 8 games with a foot injury. He returns at full strength for Utah. Michigan hurries back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10, Rudock alone in the backfield. Takes the shotgun snap. Looks to his left. Fires over the middle. Jake Butt with the reception, who's brought down immediately by Jared Norris. Not out of space there. Rudock fitted in the window, but Norris had him wrapped up almost as soon as he caught it. Pick up a 5, setting up a 3rd and 5 just across midfield. 3rd down, the noise down here at Utah, so the fans back on their feet. Michigan in a tight huddle. Rudock sends Jake Butt in motion from right to left. He'll go back to the right side. Rudock takes the snap. Looking to the right, firing to Jake Butt, who's brought down a yard short of the first down. A great tackle made there by Justin Thomas, the junior from Orange, Texas. Making the big stop, and decision time now for Jim Harbaugh. Ball on the Utah 46, and the decision has been made as Michigan will punt the ball away. Blake O'Neill, the 5th-year transfer from Weber State, the pride of Melbourne, Australia, back deep to punt. He will kick it from the Michigan 40-yard line, looking to pin Utah deep on this 4th and 1. Ball on the Utah 46. High snap, but plenty of time for O'Neill, who takes his time, boots this one high, and it's a beautiful kick. Plenty of airtime, and it is down beautifully at the 2-yard line. Something we rarely saw under Brady Hoke was great special teams play. We saw it right there as Utah will start this drive from their own 3-yard line. Great play by DeMonte Thomas, who fielded it in the air, and an even better punt by Blake O'Neill. That had all the time in the world. Not a lot of rush on that punt from Utah, and O'Neill took advantage, pinning the Utes deep as Utah will take over deep in their own territory with 1:54 left to go in the first quarter. The Utes on top by a field goal. And how will Michigan's defense do here with Utah backed up in their own territory? 2 receivers out, split out wide to the left for the Utes. Wilson takes the snap, hands this one off to Booker, who's wrapped up immediately. He will lose a yard there. Pushing him back to the 2-yard line was Chris Wormley again. Minute 30 left in the opening quarter. Utah on top 3-0. Second and 11. Ball on the Utah 2-yard line, so Utah pinned deep. Wilson still in the shotgun on top of the A in his own end zone. Firing out to the right, and he throws, and it goes through the hands of his intended target. Trying to find Delshawn McClellan, but slipped through his hands as Wilson rolled out to the right side, and this sets up a huge 3rd and 11 for Utah here in the first quarter. They don't want to give Michigan good field position to take advantage of, as they will snap this ball from their own 2-yard line. Also not an area you want to make any mistakes in if you're Utah. No harm in an incompletion. The only thing you can't afford to do is turn the ball over or be brought down in your own end zone here if you're the Utes. 2 receivers split out wide to both sides. Wilson takes the snap, drops back under heavy pressure, fires it out to the right side, nearly intercepted. But DeMonte Thomas was just out of bounds as Wilson overthrew his intended target on that one. He was under duress. He threw it towards the sideline. Smart throw there. The worst that could happen was it would fall incomplete, and it did just that. So Utah will be forced to punt from deep in their own end zone, but they have the guy to do it. As Tom Hackett was an All-American a year ago and was the nation's top punter. But he will be right on the end line when he takes the snap. Jabril Peppers lined up on the Utah side of the field. Good snap. Kick is up, and it's another short, high one. Peppers gets under it and fields it at his own 40, or at the Utah 42-yard line. So Michigan will start off their 3rd possession of the game in great field position with 1:03 left to go in the first quarter. Michigan's had some success so far in their opening 2 drives. They just haven't converted them into points yet. Jake Rudock, 5 of 7 so far in this game for 43 yards. Running game not as strong. They've had 2 rushers, Davion Smith and Ty Isaac, who've combined for 6 carries and just 10 yards. So that'll be something they'll look to get going moving forward. Jake Butt already 4 receptions for 37 yards in this game. So you knew the tight end would be a big factor in the Jim Harbaugh offense, and he's proven just that in the first game. High formation here for Rudock to take the snap to start this 3rd drive. Takes the handoff, drops back, firing deep. He's got a man wide open, and he overthrew him. Play couldn't have been drawn up any better, as Jake Rudock simply missed his man. And it was Jehu Chesson running deep down the right sideline, and there was no one within 10 yards of him. Needed a little bit more air under that pass, and that's an easy touchdown for Michigan, but you like the play call, just lack the execution there. I'm sure some jitters, and I'm sure some surprise. You rarely see a guy that open going that deep, but the home run pass was there for Michigan. They just couldn't convert. Now 2nd and 10, firing it out to the right side, or to the left side, I should say, is Amara Darboh. He's got room down the sideline, and he will be pushed out finally at the Utah 12-yard line. A big connection there, so they missed one a play ago, but they take advantage on the next play on a quick little screen pass to pick up huge yardage as Amara Darboh, with a lot of speed, the former trackster, speeding down the sidelines. Michigan's offense finally moving. 40 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Utah on top 3-0. Michigan will snap this one from the 13-yard line of Utah. 1st and 10. Snap handed off to Davion Smith, who's bottled up immediately. Nothing going for the Michigan running attack so far. Wrapped up there by Jason Whittingham and Gianni Paul. Harbaugh urges the offense quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Utah scrambling to get in position as Rudock takes the 2nd down snap. Hands it off to Smith again, running to the right side, and Gianni Paul and Jared Norris there again to wrap up Smith. 2 yards on 2 plays with the rushing attack. And that will end the first quarter. After one, Utah on top 3-0 over the Wolverines, but Michigan driving, so be sure to come back and listen in to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. Welcome back to Salt Lake City, Rice-Eccles Stadium. Michigan taking on the Utah Utes. Utah leading after the end of the first quarter, 3-0, but Michigan driving here. 3rd and 8, ball on the Utah 11-yard line as we get back underway here to start the second quarter. Jake Rudock, the starting quarterback for the Wolverines. He's got 3 receivers split out wide to his left. In the shotgun with Davion Smith to his left. Takes the snap, looking to his left, firing that way. And it is caught by Brian Cole, the true freshman, who's wrapped up immediately. Nothing doing there, so Michigan will send out the field goal unit, and it will be Kenny Allen to kick. Kenny Allen, the redshirt junior from Fenton, Michigan, 6'3", 210. Blake O'Neill, the new punter, will hold. It'll be a 30-yard field goal from the left hash marks, the exact same spot that Utah kicked their opening field goal. So Michigan looking to tie things here to start the second quarter. Good snap, good hold, kick is up, and the kick is good. So a big sigh of relief for the maize and blue faithful who have made the trip all over the country, from all over the country to come here, as special teams was going to be a question, especially with not knowing who the kicker would be, but Kenny Allen appears up to the challenge, at least on his first attempt, and Michigan ties things up at 3 apiece with 14-13 left to go in the second quarter. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Salt Lake City, Utah. Rice-Eccles Stadium, Michigan and Utah knotted up at 3 apiece. 14-13 left to go in the second quarter. Kenny Allen to kick things off after Michigan gets their first points of the season. Another booming kick deep into the end zone. Corey Butler-Bird forced to take a knee, and Utah will start this one from the 25-yard line going right to left. Travis Wilson, 5 of 7 so far in this game for 51 yards. He has 3 rushing attempts as well for 17 yards. Devontae Booker, 5 attempts, 0 yards so far in this game. They've stopped him a few times in the backfield, and it appears Michigan's content to let Travis Wilson beat them, but not going to let Utah's leading man, their top running back, Devontae Booker, do that. Utah starts this one from the right hash marks. Wilson takes the snap. Read option, hands it off to Booker, who's wrapped up again, trying to hurdle a defender and is crushed out of bounds. No gain on that one. As Michigan, a ton of defenders in the backfield, as their front seven has been impressive early on against the run. Sets up a second 11 from the Utah 24-yard line. 3 receivers split out wide to the left for Wilson. He's got Booker behind him in the shotgun. Steps back looking, firing over the middle and breaking through Jabril Peppers' coverage is their slot receiver, Britton Covey. The freshman from Provo, Utah, comes in at just 5'8", 166, but he got the better of Jabril Peppers. He was in coverage there, cutting across the middle for a big first down for Utah, getting all the way down to the 44-yard line of the Utes. Now 3 receivers again, split out wide to the left. This time Wilson will hand it off to Booker, who gets through the initial wave of defenders and gets a first down, a pickup of 10 yards on that carry, and he nearly broke that one the whole way. But a big pickup there and positive yardage on consecutive plays for the Utes as they get into Michigan territory. Ball on the 46-yard line of the Maize and Blue for the Utes. 3 receivers again split out wide to the left for Wilson. He's got one to his right, and Booker behind him in the backfield. Takes the snap on 1st and 10, fakes the handoff to Booker, dropping back. Pressure coming to him. He will tuck it and run down the right sideline. Breaks through the initial tackle of Mario Ojemudia, and he's shoved out of bounds after a pickup of 6 yards there. Wilson can do that. He's not their running quarterback. Kendall Thompson would do most of the running if he ever comes in at the quarterback position, but Wilson can run the ball pretty well in his own right. 2nd and 4, takes the quick snap, hands it off to Booker, who runs right up the middle, wrapped up immediately, picks up about 3 yards. But Ojemudia there to make the tackle, setting up a 3rd and 1, ball on the Michigan 37-yard line. So potentially 4-down territory in this altitude. It could even be field goal range for Phillips. Snap taken, handoff to Booker, running down the right sideline. He's got room, and he'll pick up about 4 yards and easily get the first down. So Utah moves the chains once more, 1st and 10. Ball on the Michigan 34-yard line. Utah quickly back to the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers split out wide to both sides. Wilson takes the snap, firing across, and he connects with his intended target, Tyrone Smith, for a pickup of 8 yards. Wilson finding his rhythm now. He's 7 of 9 for 79 yards so far in this game. 2nd and 2, ball on the 26-yard line. 11:48 left to go. Wilson takes the snap, fires over the middle, and it is caught in another first down. Siale Fakiloatunga with the reception, and Utah moves the chains once again. Ball now on the 13-yard line. Utah going no huddle. Wilson takes the snap, hands it off to Booker, who's wrapped up after a gain of 4. Utah moving the ball with relative ease against this Michigan defense going up tempo, and Michigan appears gassed right now. Seeing a lot of defenders with hands on the hips, and that's just what Utah's looking to do here. 11:15 left to go in the second quarter. Knotted up at 3. 2nd and 6. Wilson takes the snap, drops back, looking over the middle, and it is caught. Again, beating Jabril Peppers, reaching for the pylon and thrown out of bounds at the 1-yard line is Britton Covey. But second time we've seen Jabril Peppers in coverage get beat by the little slot receiver from Provo, the freshman, Britton Covey, with his 2nd reception. Sets up a 1st and goal from the 1-yard line for the Utes with 10:55 left to go in the 2nd quarter. Utah looking for the first touchdown of the game. Utah controlling time of possession right now. Wilson will take the snap from the shotgun. He's got Booker behind him. He will hand it off to Booker, running down the right side, reaching over the end line. Touchdown, Utah! Devontae Booker with the first touchdown of the year for the Utes, and they take a 9-3 lead here with 10:33 left to go in the first half. Play 75-yard drive that took 3 minutes and 40 seconds as Utah gets in the end zone first here in Salt Lake City. Phillips on to attempt the extra point. Snap good, hold good, kick is up, and it's through. Utah leads at 10-3 with 10:33 left to go in the opening half. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football live from Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm Leo Blavin. Rice Eccles Stadium, the scene is the Utah Utes lead the Wolverines 10-3, 10:33 left to go in the first half. Back deep do receive for the Wolverines, Jabril Peppers and DeMonte Thomas. Andy Phillips to kick off for the Utes. A booming opening kickoff well into the end zone for a touchback. In this elevation, you're not going to get many return opportunities in this game. So Rudock will go back into the huddle for the Wolverines. He's 7 of 10 so far in this game, 70 yards and the 1 interception. 8 rushing attempts total for the Wolverines between Davion Smith and Ty Isaac for 12 yards. And Jake Butt, the leading receiver right now, 4 receptions for 37 yards, including a long of 24. Utah on top, 10-3. Michigan looking to get their first touchdown of the season and their first touchdown of the Jim Harbaugh era. Rudock under center with Davion Smith in the backfield. Takes the snap, but flags coming all over the place, and that might be a snap infraction. Won't be able to hear the officials, just read the signals, and it was a false start for Michigan. Their second of the game to move them back to their own 20-yard line. So 1st and 15 with 10:33 left to go in the first half. Utah on top, 10-3. Same formation with Davion Smith in the backfield. Rudock under center. Takes the snap, firing out to the right side quickly. Jehu Chesson with the reception, trying to get to the sideline, and he does just that. A decent-sized pickup there of 8 yards to set up a manageable 2nd and 7. Michigan's offense has had success so far in this game. Just in the red zone, they were not able to convert it into a touchdown. But other than that, a lot of positives to take away from Michigan. But the running game really needs to be one that they can get going here as the game progresses. Two receivers split out wide to the left for this 2nd down and 8. Handoff to Davion Smith running down the right side, gets through the middle, gets into space, trying to rip the ball away is Jared Norris. He's finally wrapped up. But a decent-sized pickup, setting up a 3rd and 2 at the 33-yard line of Michigan, I should say. It's 3rd and 2, crowd on their feet, the Red Sea here in Salt Lake City. Jumbo package in for Michigan. Rudock drops back, looking to pass, firing over the middle, and all tangled up there was A.J. Williams, the intended target there. He was engaged in coverage there and just couldn't break through, overthrown by quite a ways anyway, but Williams never really got an opportunity to run his route there. Reggie Porter in coverage, and Michigan will have to punt. Blake O'Neal will be back to kick it from the Michigan 18-yard line. Britton Covey back deep to receive for the Utes. High snap again. O'Neal rushes this kick, and it's a short one. Covey fair catches it at the 30-yard line where Utah will start this next possession. 9:26 left to go in the first half. Utah on top, 10-3. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. We'll be back in a moment. Utah on top of Michigan, 10-3 with 9:26 left to go in the first half. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. I'm Leo Blavin, live from Salt Lake City, where Jim Harbaugh makes his debut as head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan's offense has not been able to find the end zone yet, and Utah on their last drive got into the end zone thanks to a 1-yard run from Devontae Booker. Travis Wilson's looked good in this game, 9 of 11 so far, 100 yards, and the running game has been great as well. 15 attempts for 43 yards, but that one touchdown. And both Wilson and Booker have found success carrying the ball so far in this game, and Michigan's defense appears content to let the passing game beat them, but not the rushing game. Britton Covey has had 2 receptions to lead the way for Utah with 28 yards, including a 20-yard reception that put them down to the 1-yard line. Both those coming against Jabril Peppers. Utah starts this drive on their own 30-yard line, 1st and 10, 9:26 left to go in the first half. Utah on top 10-3. Wilson takes the snap, hands it off to Booker, running right up the middle. And coming off the edge and wrapping him up from the legs was Jabril Peppers. His first tackle of the game. Five receivers split out wide here for this 2nd and 8. Travis Wilson alone in the backfield to take the shotgun snap. 3 out to his right, 2 to his left. Takes the snap, looking left, firing in that direction. And it was Delano Hill in the coverage. And he was unable to connect with Booker out of the backfield. Typically a running back lined up in the slot there on the left side and just couldn't get his hands on the football long enough to catch it. And that sets up a 3rd and 8 from the 32 of Utah. Michigan looking to first force a 3 and out and get the ball back into the hands of their offense. Third down snap taken. Wilson dropping back. Tons of pressure coming, and he cannot get through. Peppers in there to wrap him up. Ojemudia as well, a gang of Michigan white shirts. Willie Henry in there and Taco Charlton as well. So 5 Michigan defenders all had their hands on there to bring him down for the big sack to drop Utah back and force a punt from Tom Hackett. Jabril Peppers will be back as well as Jordan Lewis. So 2 return men back to bring this one back and try to give Michigan good field position. Good snap. Hackett rolls out to his right. A booming kick goes all the way back into the end zone. Absolutely crushed that punt. And Michigan's return men were lined up a good 15 yards ahead of where that one took its initial bounce. And I think Michigan fortunate that that ball did roll all the way into the end zone. So Michigan will take over on their own 20-yard line when we come back. 8:10 left to go in the opening half. Utah on top 10-3. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. Welcome back to Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm Leo Blavin Coming live from Rice-Eccles Stadium for WCBN sports coverage of Michigan football here against Utah. Utah on top 10-3, 8:10 left to go in the opening half. Michigan starts this offensive drive on their own 20-yard line after the punt from Tom Hackett found the end zone. Rudock back under center, I formation. Joe Carriage in at fullback. Davion Smith dotting the I. Now he comes in motion out to the left sideline. Handoff to Carriage, who runs right up the middle. Pickup of about 5 on that one. So good positive yardage on the first run from a fullback. And the team captain, Joe Carriage. Just his 5th career rushing attempt in a Michigan uniform, and picks up 4 yards on that, setting up a 2nd and 6 on the Michigan 24-yard line. Michigan patiently breaks the huddle. 2 receivers split out wide to the right. Handoff to Davion Smith, trying to break through the left side. Not a lot of room there. Swarm of red shirts, Gianni Paul leading the way, as the legs were also wrapped up by Viliseni Faunuku. Still positive yardage, 2 yards on that carry from Smith, sets up a 3rd and 4 on the Michigan 26-yard line. Michigan just 1 for 5 on 3rd down so far in this game. They'll look to pick up their 2nd 3rd down conversion on this one. Shotgun. Snap taken by Ruda. Firing, and he has his man curling out towards the left sideline is Jake Butt once again. And it's a 1st down for the Wolverines. Needed 4, he got 4.5. So that'll move the chains for Michigan. They improved to 2 for 6 on 3rd down conversion attempts in this game. 6:30 left to go in the opening half. Utah on top 10-3. 2 receivers split out wide to the right for Jake Ruda. He's got Derek Green in the backfield. He'll fire it quickly out to the left side. Amara Darbo sheds the first tackle and picks up more positive yardage. A 1st down for Michigan, a pickup of 12 on that reception for Darbo. First and 10, ball on the Michigan 43-yard line. They've got a drive going now. 2 consecutive plays, picking up 1st down for Rudock and co. Amara Darbo split out wide to the right on this one. Derek Green in the backfield in the shotgun with Jake Rudock. Rudock takes the snap, looking deep. He's got a man, J.U. Chesson, and just overthrew him again. It was double coverage, but Chesson did have his man beat, and the safety was not going to get there in time, but just another overthrow, and that's the 2nd one that may have cost Michigan 6 in the 1st quarter. Chesson was wide open, streaking towards the end zone, and Rudock overthrew him by about 5 yards, and similar result there, but the home run attempts have been open. They just have not been able to connect so far. 2nd and 10, ball on the 43 for Michigan, taking the snap on their own side of the field. 2 receivers out wide to the right. Ruda takes the snap, dropping back, firing in the direction of Grant Perry. Overthrew him, and it's intercepted. Marcus Williams bringing it back to midfield where he's finally brought down, but Utah picks off Jake Rudock for the 2nd time this game, and Marcus Williams brings it all the way back to midfield where Utah will take over with 5:31 left to go in the opening half. Utah looking to increase their lead. They're on top 10-3. So Jake Rudock's missed a couple open Michigan men, and he's connected with 2 Utah defenders so far in this game. His 2nd interception. And certainly not something Michigan can afford to do, turning over the football. Plagued them a year ago, and it appears to be plaguing them so far in this game as Utah takes over at midfield. Wilson takes the shotgun snap, firing a deep ball into the direction of Jabril Peppers, who is in coverage, and the flag comes out along the right sideline. And I think they're going to get Peppers for pass interference, as they've taken advantage of the freshman's coverage on several occasions, the redshirt freshman now, but still in his first true game experience since injuring himself in the third game of the season a year ago. And he gets flagged for pass interference there, so that'll move Utah up 15 yards. They will snap this one from the 36-yard line in Michigan territory, looking to increase their touchdown lead with 5:25 left to go in the opening half. Michigan could really use a turnover, try to get some momentum back in their favor. Two receivers split out wide to both sides as the handoff goes to Booker, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. Peppers made the initial hit and warmly brought him down for a loss of 2. Michigan's defense has played relatively well, just not getting a lot of help from their offense. Michigan's offense just a field goal to show for their efforts so far, and 2 interceptions thrown by Jake Rudock, giving Utah great field position to start this drive at midfield as they look to increase their lead. Empty set backfield as Wilson takes the direct snap and carries it for a gain of 2. Sets up a 3rd and 10 from the 36-yard line, so it would be a very long field goal attempt for the Utes. But in this altitude and elevation, it certainly could benefit them. 3 receivers out wide to the right. Booker on the right hip of Wilson in the shotgun. Wilson takes the snap, drops back. Blitz coming in. Ojemudia had him wrapped off, or I should say that was, yeah, I have that. Mario Ojemudia wrapped him up initially, but couldn't bring him down. He picks up a gain of 6 and is brought down just short of the first down marker. It'll be 4th and 4, and Utah's punt team comes out, or correction, Andy Phillips comes out to attempt the field goal. "48-yard attempt for Phillips from the left hash mark. Snap good, hold good, kick is up. It has the leg, and it is no good. It appeared from our angle at midfield that he kicked it wide right, but he had the leg but misses it, and a good break for Michigan as Andy Phillips, one of the best kickers in the nation, misses that one to keep it just a 1-score game. Michigan trailing Utah 10-3 with 3:29 left to go in the first half. Michigan will take over now from their own 31-yard line. Rudock back to lead the way for this Michigan offense. And now they're doing some maintenance on the spider camera that flies on those wires across the entire football field that give you those overhead shots from behind the center. They've got that repaired and back up into the air, so we'll be ready to get back underway. Harbaugh having some discussion with the officiating crew at the 35-yard line. Getting an explanation on the spotting of the football after the missed field goal. Question of whether it would be spotted where the kick was missed or where it was snapped. It's where it was snapped, so Michigan takes over at their 31-yard line. Rudock takes the snap. Hands it off to Derek Green, and just no running room there. He's brought down by Hunter Dimmick, making his first stop of the game. The junior from Syracuse, Utah, had 10 sacks last year. Part of the 34.5 sacks that returned from this Utah defense that led the nation a year ago with 55 sacks. 2nd and 11, ball on the 30-yard line for Michigan. Rudock in the shotgun. Takes the snap, hands it off to Green again, running down the left side, and not much room there again. A pickup of maybe 3 will set up a 3rd and 9. The running game not getting much going. It's positive yardage, but not very positive. So Michigan sets themselves up for trouble with another 3rd and long on their own 32-yard line. The Utah fans on their feet. Here in Salt Lake City, the Utes on top 10-3. 2:15 left to go in the opening half. Michigan with the football on this 3rd and 9 on their own half of the field, and Jim Harbaugh will call a timeout before the snap. So Michigan will talk things over with 2:12 left to go in the opening half. Utah on top 10-3. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. We'll be back in a moment. Utah on top 10-3 with 2:12 left to go in the opening half. 3rd and 9 on the Michigan 32-yard line for the Wolverines. Rudock in the shotgun. He's got one receiver out wide to his right, 2 to his left. Stacked receivers on that left side. Rudock takes the snap, looking that way, firing in the direction of Grant Perry. He dropped it, and it was short of the first down marker anyway, but there is a flag on the field, and it's going to be offsides against the Utes, so Michigan with another opportunity. They'll move it up to 3rd and 4. So it was a free play anyway. Michigan couldn't take advantage, but they'll get another opportunity. And first down would certainly be huge here for Michigan. They want to give their defense a bit of a rest, especially in this elevation. Third and 4 from the 37-yard line. Michigan's half of the field. Rudock in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers split out wide to the left. 2 tight ends on the right side of the offensive line. Gets the snap away, looking to his right, firing in that direction, and it is broken up. His intended target there was A.J. Williams, but great defensive play for the Utes as they break that one up. It was Jared Norris in cover. So Michigan forced a punt from their own 37-yard line. Blake O'Neal back deep to punt for the Wolverines. Good snap. Runs out in a low line drive kick. This one is very deep. Britton Covey fields it at his own 14-yard line. Good coverage there, but he makes a few men miss and finally is brought down after getting to the 26-yard line. But he made the first few defenders miss, and he could have been pinned deep, but a few nifty moves to put Utah in decent field position at their own 26. Booming punt from O'Neal, but such a low line drive kick. It's tough for the special teamers out trying to make the stop to get downfield in time, and Utah now takes over after that decent return at the 27. Wilson takes the snap and fires out to the right side. Devontae Booker brings it down and is tackled after picking up 6 on that first down completion. Utah going to have to hurry up here. 1:35 left to go in the opening half. Utah on top 10-3. 2nd and 3 for this snap. Utah in no hurry. Minute 20 left on the game clock in this first half. They'll finally snap it with 1:17, and they'll hand it off to Booker. Surprised to see the run play there. Pickup of about 3, setting up a 3rd and 2. So it appears almost as if Utah might be content to go into the locker room with this touchdown lead as clock is under now a minute with the first half of play. Michigan with just 1 timeout. Snap taken with 52 seconds. Wilson has time, fires it out to the right side. Devontae Booker gets the first down and is brought down at the 46-yard line of the Utes. but just 46 seconds left on the clock. Utah still with all 3 timeouts, and the clock stops with the moving of the chains. Wilson takes the snap, firing out to the right side, and he has a completion there. But good coverage as he's brought down immediately. Jordan Lewis with the tackle, and Utah first to take their first time out of the half with 35 seconds left to go in the opening half of play. Utah on top 10-3. Second and 7, ball on the 49-yard line of the Utes as they look to get one last score with 35 seconds left to go in the opening half on top of Michigan 10-3. Shotgun snap taken by Wilson. Firing out to the right sideline, well over the head of his intended target, Kenneth Scott. Setting up a 3rd and 7 with 31 seconds left to go in the opening half at midfield. The Utes have the football. Shotgun snap taken by Wilson here on 3rd down. He's got plenty of time, and now he's forced to roll out to his right. Fires it just short of the line to gain. The reception is brought down by Devontae Booker, the running back, but he will be marked 2 yards short of the first down. .22 seconds left on the clock as Utah keeps their offense out on the field. He did get out of bounds, so the clock is not running here. As Whittingham runs to the referees, and it looks like he may just take a timeout. And they do. So Utah takes correction. The referees pointed the wrong way. It's a Michigan timeout. So Jim Harbaugh wanting to think things over with his defense, perhaps worrying about a potential pooch punt from the quarterback, Travis Wilson. 22 seconds left to go in the opening half. Michigan trails the Utah Utes 10-3. Utah's offense back out on the field for this 4th and 2 on the Michigan 46-yard line. Michigan will be out of timeouts if they stop them here, so smart decision for the Utes. Britton Covey comes in motion. Wilson fakes the handoff to him. He's got Devontae Booker wide open in the flats, and Booker brings down the reception and picks up the first down. Great play design there as the Michigan defenders were headed to the right side as Covey came in motion on the fake handoff. And that left wide open room in the right for Booker to pick up the first down and move the chains. 17 seconds left to go in the first half. 1st and 10 from the Michigan 39-yard line. Wilson in the shotgun. 2 receivers split out wide to both sides. Takes the snap. Drops back. Looking and firing, and it's batted at the line. Great play made there by Joe Bolden. Or check that, Desmond Morgan there to get his mitts on it and stuff it at the line. Second and 10, 14 seconds left to go in the first half. Design screen pass out to Booker. Falls incomplete, probably for the best. There was no room out there as Desmond Morgan had that sniffed out, as did most of the Michigan defensive line. 10 seconds left to go here in the opening half. Utah with the ball on the Michigan 39-yard line. Too long for a field goal attempt, so On this third down, Utah has to be thinking either a quick strike for a first down or start heading to the end zone. Two receivers split out wide to both sides for Travis Wilson. He's got Booker on his right hip. Takes the snap, drops back, looking out to the left side, firing a deep pass in the direction of Kenneth Scott. Did he come down with it? No, he did not. They're saying he was not able to get a foot down. Would have been a big pickup, but the referee's waving it incomplete, saying he was out of bounds. And they got that one right. The foot coming just down, just out of bounds. Another foot or so in the green grass, and that would have been a big reception. Instead, it sets up a 4th and 10, but with 4 seconds left, Utah will go for this one and just throw it up into the air, into the end zone, and try to get a Hail Mary touchdown to end the half. They're already on top 10-3, looking to add another score. Snap taken. Plenty of time for Wilson. Drops back. Fires this one deep into the air, into the end zone. And it is intercepted, and running back the other way with it is Jeremy Clark. He will be brought down as heads-up plays by Utah to bring him down, but Michigan ends the half with an interception. They will go into the locker room trailing Utah 10-3. At the end of the first half, you're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. We'll be back with second half coverage in a moment. Welcome back to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football live from Salt Lake City, Utah, Rice-Eccles Stadium. I am Leo Blavin. At the half, Utah on top of Michigan, 10-3. Michigan's running game, a real struggle in the first half. 13 attempts, just 25 yards. The main carrier, Davion Smith, with 8 carries for just 14 yards. Jake Rudock struggled, 10 of 17, just 94 yards and 2 interceptions. Jake Butt has been a bright spot on the offense. 5 receptions for 41 yards. Amara Darbo, 2 receptions as well, and he has 40 yards with those 2. Travis Wilson for Utah, 14 of 22, 133 yards in the interception to close out the half on the Hail Mary pass. Travis Wilson and Devontae Booker have combined for 47 rushing yards on 21 attempts, so not much better for them, but the passing attack has been good, and their defense has forced 2 turnovers, and they lead it 10-3 as we're ready to get underway in the second half. Michigan will receive the opening kickoff for the second half, looking to get into the end zone for the first time in this game. Jabril Peppers, DeMonte Thomas will be back deep to receive the kickoff from Andy Phillips. We'll see what second half adjustments were made by both sides out of the locker room as Andy Phillips kicks us off, and we are underway in the second half. Utah on top 10-3 as we start this one. Kickoff well into the end zone for the touchback, so Michigan will start this opening drive of the second half at their own 25-yard line. It'll be Jake Rudock again, back under center for Michigan. Again, those 2 interceptions in the first half. The big mistakes for Michigan that allowed Utah to get the touchdown and get the 10-3 lead. Davion Smith will be the starting tailback for Michigan. Joe Carrigan at fullback. High formation here for Rudock, under center. Takes the snap, hands it off to Smith, running up the right side. Nothing doing there. Stuffed by Viliseni Faonuku. Out there to make the stop for the Utes. No gain there for Smith. Michigan hasn't had many negative offensive plays so far in this game, but the running game has really yet to provide them with any big gains. They have not gained a first down on the ground yet in this contest. 2nd and 10 for the Wolverines. Davion Smith in the backfield, Rudock under center. Fakes the handoff, rolling out to his right. Plenty of room. Will dump it off to Jake Butt, who's got loads of space down the right sideline. Check that. It was not Jake Butt. It was Ian Bunting, another lengthy tight end, and he came across the field running down the right sideline to pick up that first down as the designed rollout connection between Rudock and Bunting moves the chains. Ten seconds on the play clock as Michigan breaks the huddle and hurries to the line of scrimmage. Pitch out wide to the left to Smith, who cuts back in the inside. Got some running room, breaks through the first wave of tacklers and picks up about 6. Davion Smith with the nice carry to break a few tackles. Not a lot of room there, but he found the hole and picked up as much yardage as Utah would give him. 13:20 left to go in the third quarter. Utah on top 10-3. Joe Carrigan at fullback. Ty Isaac in at the tailback position. Drake Harris out wide to the right. Rudock takes the snap. Coming under pressure, and he'll tuck it and run it and dive forward right at the markers. Should be good enough for a first down. And they will move the chains. So Rudock does just enough to pick up the first down. He had 134 rushing attempts in his career at Iowa for 394 yards and 8 scores. So he has the ability to run, but he's certainly not a run-first style quarterback. First and 10, ball on the Michigan 47-yard line as the Wolverines look to even up the score down 10-3 to the Utes. High formation here for Rudock, under center. Ty Isaac in the backfield. The give is to Isaac, running down the left side. Not a lot of room, but he bulldozes his way forward to pick up about 5. And when Michigan's running game's been good in this game, it hasn't been the big flashy plays. They haven't been getting to the outside. It's just been a good push from the offensive line, which they had right there. Second and 6 for the Wolverines across midfield now. Rudock under center. Fakes the handoff to Davion Smith, rolling out to the right. Jump pass in the direction and caught by A.J. Williams. Not sure he really needed to jump that ball. Wasn't able to get much air underneath it, so it's only a pickup of 1. Otherwise, they might have had a lot more space. But Rudock left his feet to get it over the incoming defender. That was Hunter Dimmick, but now it sets up a 3rd down and 3. The noise down here in Utah, the crowd on their feet. 11:30 left to go in this 3rd quarter. The Wolverines trying to tie up the score, but they need a touchdown. Rudock in the shotgun. 2 receivers out wide to his right. He takes the snap. Drops back, looking in that direction. Pump fake, then fires it over the middle. Amara Darboh catches it right in the middle of the field and gets all the way down to the Utah 30-yard line. Amara Darboh sat down in the soft spot of that zone coverage, and Rudock fired the trigger. I should say pulled the trigger, and it was connected with Darboh, who picked up a huge gain and moves the chains for Michigan. Big connection there to get deep into Utah territory. They'll snap this ball from the Utah 31. Seven men on the line, offensive line for Michigan, as it's a screen pass fired out wide to the left. Jehu Chesson picks up about 7 there. Quick little screen pass, and Michigan's had a lot of success on those little bubble screens so far in this game. Jake Butt checks in at tight end. Third and 2. Check that, 2nd and 5 for the Wolverines here. Taking the snap is Rudock, rolling out to the right side again. Fires it back in the direction of Davion Smith. It was a design roll to the right, trying to get the defense sleeping and then throwing it back to the running back, but just not a lot of time there, and Rudock overthrew his intended target. And now it's 3rd down. It'll be 3rd down and 5 here. Ball on the Utah 26-yard line. Michigan would love a touchdown, but they'll settle for a field goal. In field goal range, but with 3rd and 5, certainly an opportunity for Michigan to move the chains here. 2 receivers split out wide to the right, 1 to the left. Ty Isaac in the backfield on the right hip of Rudock. He takes the shotgun snap. Drops back, looking to his right, firing in the direction of Amara Darboh, who dives and makes the catch right along the ground. Not the best of throws. Amara Darboh got underneath it, though, and that's good enough to move the chains for the Wolverines. So a big connection there, and a play that needed to be made by Darboh, and he did just that, helping out his receiver, or his quarterback. And those just seemed to be the passes a year ago that Michigan couldn't connect on, and so far tonight, when they've needed a catch, they've had them. The 2 bad passes in this game were both just overthrows, but the receivers have done a good job helping out Rudock tonight, and there's a stoppage on the field. And they will take a look at this one. We have no replay monitors up here where they've accommodated us here at the University of Utah, so we'll depend on the video scoreboard to give us any insight. With 9:35 left to go in the 3rd quarter, it's 10-3 in favor of the Utes. You're listening to the WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. We'll be back in a moment with the results of this replay review. Welcome back to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. Just as I was praising the receiving corps for helping out their quarterback, I take it all back because Amara Darbo dropped that pass and it hit the ground. So Michigan will be forced to settle for a field goal. A tough break on that review as it did appear to just hit the ground before he secured the catch. So Kenny Allen will come on to attempt the 44-yard field goal from the left hash mark. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up. A low one, and it is no good. So the field goal struggles begin for Michigan this season as Kenny Allen just missed the field goal. And Michigan will get no points out of that offensive drive. A tough break. They have the catch overturned that would have given them a first down, and then they missed the field goal, and that's one you really need to make at the collegiate level. So with 9:58 left to go in the third quarter, Michigan still down by a field goal. It's 10-3 in favor of the Utes. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. Welcome back to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. Utah on top of the Wolverines 10-3 here with 9:58 left to go in the third quarter from Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City. I'm Leo Blavin. Utah takes over after the Kenny Allen missed field goal at their own 26-yard line. Travis Wilson in the shotgun with Devontae Booker behind him. He will hand it off. Booker running to the left side and is brought down after a pickup of about 3. Willie Henry there to wrap up the legs for the tackle. Second and 8, ball on the Utah 28-yard line. Three receivers split out wide to the left for Wilson. Booker to his left as well. Now Booker shifts over to the right side. Wilson running the option, pitches it out wide to Booker. Booker's got room running down the right side, breaks through a tackle, and is brought down after picking up a first down. A big play there. Pickup of 10, and it moves the ball down to the Utah 38-yard line. Booker again takes this handoff, running out to the right side. and picks up another 7 yards on that one. So Devontae Booker starting to get going. 17 carries now, 41 yards. So the average not there yet, but he's starting to do some damage as this Michigan defense appears to be tiring down a little bit on this first possession for Utah of the half. Wilson takes the shotgun snap. Keeps it himself this time, running down the right side. He's got a lot of room, gets to the second level, and it gets all the way into the Michigan territory, into the Michigan 27-yard line before he's forced out of bounds. But a great play design there as they all read the read to the running back, and Wilson kept it himself and scampered for a massive gain deep into Michigan territory. But a flag was down on the field, and I'm sorry I missed it. But a holding call goes against the Utes, so negate that huge play, and that could be a huge momentum shift against Utah, as it appeared Utah was on the verge of adding points to their lead. Instead, they will move the ball back. They're going to snap it back from the line of scrimmage on that last play, so I'm not sure where the penalty occurred, but a screen pass thrown out wide to Bubba Poole, and he was wrapped up after a gain of about 1. So the Utah holding penalty negates the positive yardage. They then reattempt that 2nd and 5 after the holding penalty, and now it's 3rd and 3 after the screen pass to Bubba Poole gained 2 yards. 3rd down near midfield, handoff to Devontae Booker, gets through the hole on the right side and picks up 10 yards for another first down for the Utes. Utah's offensive line starting to impose their will against this Michigan defense, and Devontae Booker running through contact. Now a screen pass thrown out to the right side is caught, and a pickup of 3 yards there for the Utes. So positive yardage on seemingly every play. That was Tiale Fakiloatonga with the reception, and a pickup of 3, 2nd and 7 now for the Utes. Ball on the Michigan half of the field on their own, or on the Michigan, 42-yard line. Snap taken by Wilson. Fakes the handoff. Looking, he's got plenty of time, firing it over the middle, and he connects with Britton Covey in the weak spot of the zone coverage. A huge pickup all the way down to the Michigan 27-yard line. First down, Utah. Two receivers split out wide to the right for this first down. Wilson fakes the handoff to Booker. Jabril Peppers coming out on the blitz, missed the tackle. Flag is down. Wilson drilled as he throws it and threw it behind his intended target. And there is a flag down on the field, right in the area of offsides. Instead, it appears it was an illegal formation penalty. Harbaugh will take it, so push Utah back 10 yards. And just on the fringe now of field goal range are the Utes. Michigan's defense really needs to make a stop here, because the way Michigan's offense is playing, they really can't afford to be down by more than one score. Five-yard penalty, so 1st and 15 for the Utes. They'll snap this one from their own 32-yard line. 5 receivers out wide. Wilson alone in the backfield takes the snap. Hit as he throws and connects to his intended target, the tight end, right over the middle. And that's a big first down gain for the Utes deep into the red zone. So Utah in the red zone. They will snap this one from the 14-yard line. stoppage of play on the field as Gerard Wilson was rattled in that hit, and the coaches will go check him out. He's standing on his own power, so the one thing you have to start worrying about here is a concussion, because he's slow to move, and you rarely see the head coach go out for an injury unless a guy's not moving, but Wilson was up immediately now as he limps off the field. So hopefully he'll be okay, but it appears his night may well be done. Timeout on the field with 6:02 left to go in the third quarter. Utah in the red zone and up 10-3. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football live from Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm Leo Blavin. Utah on top, 10-3 with 6:02 left to go in the third quarter. Utah in the Michigan red zone. They will snap this one 1st and 10 from the Michigan 14-yard line. Travis Wilson, 18 of 26 in this game, 172 yards and 1 interception. Devontae Booker, 17 carries, 42 yards and a touchdown in this game. Utah with 255 yards, outgaining Michigan, who has just 186. And on the ground, Utah closing in on the century mark. They have 83 total rushing yards. Back underway. Wilson takes the shotgun snap. Keeps it himself. Tons of running room, runs right up the middle for the touchdown. And Utah takes a 16-3 lead as the Michigan linebacking core misread that. He faked the handoff to Bubba Poole, kept it himself, and there was nothing but green grass ahead of him as he ran right up the middle for 6. Plenty to cheer about now for this Utah fan base as their team takes a 17-3 lead after the extra point is up and good. And Michigan has dug themselves a hole that they might find to be a bit too deep, with the offense struggling mightily right now in this game. They're going to need an answer, and we're going to find out very quickly what Jake Rudock has in him, because this Utah defense has been stifling. However, their secondary was seen as a weakness coming into this game. Michigan's going to have to start going to the air more and more as this game progresses, because the running game has gone absolutely nowhere with 5:49 left to go in the third quarter, and Utah on top 17-3. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. We'll be back with Michigan's next offensive possession in a moment. Welcome back. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. Utah on top 17-3. Another scoring drive there for the Utes, capped off by Travis Wilson. 14-yard rush into the end zone. 5:49 left to go in the third quarter. Michigan desperately needs points on this next possession. They need to at least put together some sort of drive because the defense is starting to wear down for Michigan. This kickoff deep into the end zone for the touchback. So Michigan will take over again on their own 25-yard line. Another stoppage of play for a TV timeout. So we'll come back with Michigan's offensive drive in a moment. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. Welcome back to Salt Lake City, Utah, inside Rice-Eccles Stadium. I'm Leo Blavin. Utah on top of Michigan, 17-3 with 5:49 left to go in the third quarter of Jim Harbaugh's debut as Michigan head coach, and it's certainly not going as planned for the Wolverines as Utah's offense starting to impose their will. A 14-yard rushing touchdown by Travis Wilson on that last possession has given Utah a 2-touchdown lead as Michigan still seeks to find the end zone for the first time in this game. Michigan takes over on their own 25-yard line. Rudock under center, Davion Smith in the backfield. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Smith, rolling out to his right side, firing to Amara Darboh, who's hit immediately upon making the reception. Tevin Carter there to deliver the blow as Michigan picks up 5 on first down. Michigan's had a few deep ball opportunities where the receivers had their man beat, but Jake Rudock just overthrow them. They could really use a big play right here to get some sort of spark back into this Wolverine team. 2nd and 5, snap taken, Davion Smith bouncing out the right side, breaks through the first tackle, spins through a second, and muscles his way forward just short of the first down marker, setting up a 3rd and inches. Good hard-nosed running there by Smith. Kept the legs churning, broke through 2 tacklers. And now a Utah player slow to get up. That's Reggie Porter, the starting cornerback. He had a season-ending injury in the middle of last season. He will limp off slowly under his own power. Michigan's training staff gets off the field as Reggie Porter limps off towards the Utah sideline. Michigan will have 3 tight ends in this package. They need just a few inches to pick up the first down. This is a huge play in the ballgame for Michigan. 3rd and inches from their own 34-yard line. The Utah student section jumping up and down. The Utah fans on their feet. Heavy set package for Michigan. Rudock, quarterback keeper, jumps over the pile and picks up the first down. Great push by the offensive line to give Rudock just enough room to dive over the line and pick up the first down, moving the chains for the Maize and Blue. No urgency yet from the Michigan offense. No need with still 4 minutes and change left to go in the third quarter, but they do need to score. They trail 17-3. Two receivers split out wide to the right for Rudock. He's got Davion Smith to his left in the shotgun. Grant Perry out wide to the left. Drops back, looking. Now forced to scramble, breaks through a tackle, looking to run, now firing in the direction of Grant Perry. He had him wide open. A little improv, and then 2 flags coming in, one from the left sideline and one coming in very late. So we'll see what the play call or the penalties are here. But the Michigan offense is moving backward. 2 flags, 2 separate infractions. An eligible receiver downfield against Michigan. Penalty is declined, and that was the only penalty called. It's now 2nd down and 10 for the Wolverines. Handoff to Davion Smith, who runs right up the middle and a pickup of 5 there. So a big carry for him. He has yet to break the big one, but Michigan will take positive yardage from the running game, and that's a good one there to set up a much more manageable 3rd and 5 with 3:40 left to go in the third quarter. Utah on top of Michigan 17-3. Utah fans making noise now here for this 3rd and 5 on the Michigan 41-yard line. Rudock takes the shotgun snap, drops back, has time, looking, firing to the right side, and it's caught by Amara Darbo. He fit that through the tightest of windows. But Amara Darbo with the big reception to get into Utah territory. That's a huge play for Michigan's offense to get some momentum going and to, more importantly, keep the drive alive. Rudock under center with Davion Smith in the backfield. 2 receivers split out wide to the left. Jake Butt, the tight end, as well as Jehu Chesson. Pitches this one out wide to the left, and Davion Smith's got a lot of room. Tries to make one man miss. Can't. Has him wrapped up by the legs. Still fighting for yardage, and he'll pick up 6 there. A lot of running room, and Smith did well with it. Second and 3, ball on the Utah 39-yard line. Michigan's offense looking to get things going that convert into points on the scoreboard. They have just a field goal in this game with 2 minutes and change left to go in the third quarter, trailing 17-3 to Utah. 2 receivers out wide to the right for Rudock, who takes the snap under center. Hands it off to Ty Isaac, running down the left side. He gets to the first down marker, picks up just enough to move the chains once more for Michigan, and they've got a drive going here. And the offensive line, while the run blocking hasn't been stellar, has been very good and a very noticeable improvement from a year ago. Rudock's had time when he's dropped back, and the running game has not been stuffed in the backfield often enough to make you cringe. So 1:30 left to go in the third quarter. First down for Michigan in Utah territory. Rudock takes the snap, fires as he's hit, and he threw it just behind Jake Butt. Gianni Paul delivered the blow to Rudock as he released the football. And just behind Jake Butt, setting up a 2nd and 10. Michigan likely in 4-down territory here. Too long for a field goal, and a field goal wouldn't do Michigan much good, trailing by 14. Still plenty of time left in this game. 1:25 left to go in the third quarter, but the Wolverines desperately need points out of this drive. 2nd and 10, ball on the Utah 36-yard line, and Michigan will use their first timeout of the second half. It'll be just a 30-second timeout, so a quick huddle for the Wolverines, and we'll see what Michigan's offensive coaching staff can come up with between Jim Harbaugh, Tim Drevno, Jed Fiss, the passing coordinator, but Harbaugh's really the guy who will be calling the plays, and we'll see what he dials up here with this 2nd and 10 call. Michigan, again, desperately needing to find the end zone. They have yet to score a touchdown in this game, and they trail 17-3 to Utah. You're listening into WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. I'm Leo Blavin, coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah, Rice-Eccles Stadium. Jake Rudock, 16-27 now in the game, 147 yards, 2 interceptions. Travis Wilson, 18 of 26, 172 yards, and the 1 interception for the Utes. That's your quarterback comparison. Michigan back into the huddle here. 10 seconds on the play clock as they just get under center. Does Rudock. 2 receivers out wide to his right. Takes the snap. Takes the handoff. Drops back. Has time. Firing a deep ball. He has Darboh again, and he overthrew him. That's the 3rd time that a Michigan receiver has beaten their man, and Tevin Carter shaken up. Cramps or a leg injury, but shaken up. In correction, that's not Tevin Carter. That's Reggie Porter, who was shaken up earlier in the game, and he's shaken up again there. Amara Darboh had him beat by a step, and Jake Rudock's got to connect on one of these at some point in this game for Michigan to have a chance. That's the 3rd touchdown pass that he has overthrown in this game, and that could be the thing that cost Michigan an opportunity to win this football game. Is Amara Darboh was open in the end zone, and he just missed him by a yard or 2. Right play call, just poor execution once more. 3rd and 10 now from the Utah 36s. Reggie Porter limps off the field. So there will be a backup cornerback on the field for Michigan to go after. With 1:19 left to go in the third quarter, Utah on top 17-3. Reggie Porter this time will just head to the locker room after his 2nd injury in this quarter. 3rd and 10 now. Ball on the Utah 36. 2 receivers out wide to the right for Rudock, 1 to his left, that being Amara Darboh. Takes the snap, drops back. Plenty of time. Looking. Now rolls out to his left side. Still looking. Tries to pick up a few yards, and his hit on the sideline. And a terrible hit there by the Utah linebacker. A late hit and a cheap shot high will give Michigan a first down and give Rudock a lot of credit. He danced on that sideline, almost looking to draw the late hit from Gianni Paul. Coaching staff grilling Gianni Paul. He's a captain and cannot afford to make a mistake like that. And a heads-up play, because I'll tell you what, Rudock was looking to draw that contact. He could have stepped out much earlier and picked up the same amount of yardage. He was waiting to get drilled, and I think that might have even been a clean hit. It was a bang-bang play between him touching the sideline and Gianni Paul delivering the blow, but a smart play by the 5th-year transfer from Iowa, as that will move the chains for Michigan. Doesn't matter how you do it. All that matters is that you do it, and Michigan is in the red zone for the first time in this half. Minute left to go in the third quarter. Michigan down 17-3. Trying to keep this drive alive are the Wolverines, and Rudock does that with a penalty. Takes a snap, drops back, has time, looking, firing over the middle into triple coverage, and it is caught! Jake Butt, an unbelievable reception in triple coverage. Rudock put it where only Jake Butt could catch it, and he brings it down. A huge touchdown for Michigan. The first touchdown of the Jim Harbaugh era. comes with 46 seconds left in the third quarter to cut the lead down to a touchdown. Barring the PAT as Rudock connects with the big tight end, Jake Butt. A healthy Jake Butt is a good Jake Butt for the touchdown. And with 46 seconds left in the third quarter, it's a one-score game. Takes a lot of the life out of this Utah crowd, but they'll get back into it if Michigan gets possession with it being a one-score game. The PAT is up, and it splits the uprights, and it is 17-10 in favor of Utah, but Michigan gets their first touchdown of the game with 46 seconds left to go in the third quarter. We'll be back with Utah's next possession in a moment. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. (17-10) the score. Michigan with a touchdown connection. A 19-yard pass from Rudock to Jake Butt. With 46 seconds left in the third quarter, Kenny Allen to kick things back to the Utes. It's a high booming kick deep into the end zone. And the deep back, Corey Butler-Bird, simply takes a knee. And Michigan's defense now on the field looking to get a stop, looking to give Michigan a chance to tie this game up, but they've got to get a stop here. The momentum squarely in Michigan's favor. Question is, will it be enough to turn the tides in this game? It's 17-10 in favor of Utah, 46 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Utah will take over from their own 25-yard line. Wilson in the shotgun. Bubba Poole comes in motion, fakes the handoff, dumps it off to Booker, a play we've seen before in this game. And Joe Bolden wrestles him out from the shoulder pads, 1 yard short of the first down, so a pickup of 9 there. And Michigan's defense, again, needs a stop. All the momentum in their favor, but it would be a deflating blow for Utah to get any points on this possession as we close in on the fourth quarter. Shotgun snap. About ready for Wilson with a receiver split out wide to both sides. Devontae Booker in the backfield. He'll hand it off to Booker. Booker running down the left side. Now cuts back on the inside. Desmond Morgan wraps him up, but he picks up 2 yards and a first down to move the chains. And that will likely do it on this third quarter. There's 14 seconds left to play once they set the chains. And a few of the receivers jawing with Michigan cornerback Jordan Lewis. And that will do it on the third quarter. The score at the end of 3. Utah 17, Michigan 10. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. I'm Leo Blavin from Rice Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City, Utah. We'll be back in a moment with fourth quarter action. Fourth quarter about ready to get underway from Salt Lake City, Utah. Rice-Eccles Stadium, the scene, as Jim Harbaugh makes his debut as Michigan head coach against the Utah Utes. Utah on top 17-10. I'm Leo Blavin. Utah with the football in the lead by a touchdown as we get ready to kick off the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 for the Utes on their own 37-yard line. Wilson takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Michigan had it read well as he picked up a yard and then lets the ball loose. I think he might have been down anyway. Battle for the ball at the bottom of the pile. I think the Utah receiver, Tyrone Smith, was there first. Indeed, he was. Fumble actually does Utah a favor. They pick up another 2 yards after the fumble. Heads-up play by Tyrone Smith to get on the loose ball. 2nd and 6 for the Utes after the fumble recovery. Takes the snap. Now pocket begins to collapse. No one can wrap him up for the Wolverines, and he wings it out to the left side. Nothing but room for Britton Covey, who gets into the open field and is brought down in Michigan territory at the 40-yard line. Just no one on the Michigan defensive line could wrap up Travis Wilson. He hung in the pocket long enough, scrambled out to his left, and the safety valve, Britton Covey, was left all alone on the left sideline. And the Utah Utes gain the first down and get into Michigan territory with 14 minutes left to go in the fourth. Two receivers out wide to both sides for Travis Wilson in the shotgun. He's got Devontae Booker to his right. Takes the snap. Fires it over the middle. Juggled and just off the fingertips of his intended target, Kenneth Scott. Kenneth Scott bobbled it, and then it just got out of the reach of his fingertips, so that could have been another big gain. As if that ball's a little bit more on target, Kenneth Scott might be in the end zone. He had his man beat in Delano Hill, the safety from Detroit. 2nd and 10 now on the Michigan 41. Michigan's defense desperately needing a stop, trailing by a touchdown. The handoff to Devontae Booker, running up the middle for a gain of 2. We'll set up a 3rd and long. And this might be the play of the game for this Michigan defense. They've needed to get a big play all game. They have yet to force a turnover. But this would be the biggest stop of the ball game. Force Utah to punt if you can hold them here. Travis Wilson in the shotgun formation. Devontae Booker to his left. 3 receivers split out wide to the right. Takes a snap, drops back. Pocket collapses, but he gets the throw off just at the first down marker. It's going to be a question of where they spot it, and it appears they have it stopped a yard short. Harrison Hanley was the tight end who made the reception. 4th down, a yard to go, and they just are on the edge of field goal range, but Utah appears ready to go for it. Wilson in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Hands it off to Booker. Booker running up the middle, and he bulls his way forward for a first down, a gain of 2 yards. Great penetration by the Utah offensive line to move the line forward, and Booker just found the tightest of seams and bulled his way for a gain of 2, and it moves the chains for Utah. Big play there for the Utes to keep this drive alive and eat more time off the clock. 12 and a half minutes left to go in the contest. Utah up by a touchdown and driving into Michigan territory. Wilson takes the snap. 3 receivers out wide to his left. Instead, he'll fire it right to Booker, who's wrapped up for a big loss. Loses about 6 yards on that one as the screen pass was thrown at the end of that 5-step drop back, and Michigan may have pushed them back out of field goal territory with that big play from their defense. Fourth quarter, 11:45 left to go in the contest. Utah on top of Michigan, 17-10, with the Utes driving on the Michigan 35-yard line. 2nd and 15 for the Utes. Britton Covey comes in motion. Wilson fires it in his direction on the motion. Jabril Peppers with a huge tackle brings him down for a big loss. And again, Utah moving backwards, and they've definitely played themselves out of field goal range now. The second straight play for a big loss, and sets up a 3rd and 17, and Michigan's defense making the plays when they need them most. But this is the money down. It's 3rd down, and we'll see what Utah comes up with. The way Utah's played this game, it might be time to expect perhaps a draw play from Devontae Booker. He's had success running up the middle if Utah doesn't want to get too greedy. 3rd and 17, ball in the Michigan 37 for the Utes, who lead by a touchdown. Snap is taken. It's a drop back. Looking, pressure coming in, and throws it into the air. Kenneth Scott brings it down at the 30-yard line, so it won't be enough for the first down, but it'll be enough to send Andy Phillips up for the field goal attempt. Marked down at the 28-yard line, so this will be roughly a 47-yard field goal. Where they finally line up, it will be 46 yards for Andy Phillips. Automatic Andy, as they called him. He's 1 for 2 on the day. 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. This to put Utah up by 2 scores. Snap good. Kick is up, and it is no good. He missed it again. Automatic Andy, not so good tonight. That's his 2nd consecutive miss, and another one that he would have had a year ago. But he's missed 2 tonight, and he's given Michigan every opportunity to win this game. So with that missed field goal, Michigan takes over with all sorts of momentum. They'll get the ball on their own 29-yard line with 10:03 left in the fourth quarter, trailing by a touchdown. You're listening to WCBN's coverage of Michigan football. We'll be back in a moment. .10:03 left to go in the fourth quarter. Michigan takes over after the Andy Phillips missed field goal on their own 29-yard line. Trailing 17-10. Rudock fires it out quickly to Amara Darbo, who gets a block, and he's running down the left sideline, picking up a massive gain, a pickup of 15 yards on that one to get down to the Michigan 45-yard line, closing in on midfield. And that screen pass has worked all game to both Chesson and Darbo, and a big pickup there for the Maize and Blue. Under 10 minutes now left in this game. Michigan needing a touchdown to even things up with the Utes. A far cry from the game a year ago, which saw Utah come away victorious. This one may end in the same result, but it'll be a much closer scoreline. 9:30 left to go. Michigan with the ball on their own 45-yard line, trailing by a touchdown. Davion Smith takes a carry, busting right up the middle. Pickup of 7 yards, and Michigan really moving the ball now. Jake Rudock, despite the 2 interceptions, doesn't appear to have been rattled in this game. He's overthrown a few targets on big passing opportunities, but he's hung in there and showing you the veteran leadership you'd expect from a fifth-year senior. The graduate student transfer from Iowa looking to lead his new Big Ten team to a victory on the road in Salt Lake City. 2 receivers out wide to the right, 1 to the left with Jake Butt, the tight end. Rudock in the shotgun. Smith to his right takes the snap. Hands it off to Smith. Smith trying to run up right up the middle, then trying to bounce it outside. No room there, and he's wrapped up. A big play from the Utah defensive line by Lotu Lele. And that sets up a big third down. It'll be a 3rd and 3 from the Utah 48-yard line. Michigan across midfield, trailing by a touchdown with 8.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Ty Isaac, the running back on the right side of Rudock in the shotgun. He's got Grant Perry and Jehu Chesson to his left, Amara Darbo, and now Ty Isaac out wide to his right. Takes the snap, looking left, firing it down low to Grant Perry, and it's intercepted. Bringing it back the other way is Justin Thomas. He goes all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Utah. Justin Thomas read the pass. It was intended for Grant Perry, and Thomas took it all the way into the end zone. The mistake Jake Rudock couldn't afford to make, and he did just that. Touchdown, Utah. They take a 23-10 lead. Rudock's 3rd interception of the game. None will be more costly. As he was looking at Grant Perry, he looked him down. Justin Thomas read the quarterback's eyes and brought it all the way back the other way for 6. A 55-yard touchdown on the interception return, and the extra point is up and good, and Utah takes a 24-10 lead with 7:58 left to go in the fourth quarter. And that might be the final dagger into this Michigan team, which just came out, fought hard, got a touchdown to cut the lead down to 7, but Justin Thomas with that pick 6 and a big score for the Utah Utes. The Utah faithful on their feet here at Salt Lake City with 7:58 left to go in the fourth quarter, and the Utes on top 24-10. We'll be back. You're listening to WCBN Sports Coverage of Michigan football. Welcome back inside Salt Lake City, Utah's Rice-Eccles Stadium on the campus of the University of Utah. Justin Thomas with a 55-yard pick 6 to give the Utes a 2-touchdown lead with 7:58 left to go in the fourth quarter. Andy Phillips will kick things off for the Utes. Back deep to receive DeMonte Thomas and Jabril Peppers. Neither side had an opportunity for a kick return so far in this game. The elevation allowing these players to really boot the ball downfield. $7:58 left to go in the fourth quarter. 24-10 in favor of the home Utah Utes. Phillips kicks this one away, and it's another high, deep kick. Peppers will field it, and he will take this one out. Running down the right side, and he's got some room. Peppers trying to extend the field. Tripped up by the kicker, but he brings it all the way down to the 36-yard line. So a decent return there by Jabril Peppers, showing you a lot of speed running from the right side hash marks all the way to the left sideline and picking up 36 yards on the return in the process. So Michigan will have decent field position with 7:51 left to go in the fourth quarter. When they take over, they're going to need to score quick, trailing by 2 touchdowns. We'll come back with that drive in a moment. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. (24-10) the score with 7:51 left to go in the fourth quarter. Utah on top of Michigan and Jim Harbaugh's debut for the Wolverines. Michigan takes over this drive after the Justin Thomas pick six to give Utah a 2-touchdown lead at their own 36-yard line after Jabril Peppers had a decent kick return, taking it out of the Michigan end zone and running it all the way back to his sideline from the opposite side of the field and picking up 36 in the process. So 1st and 10 for Michigan. Jake Rudock back under center after that costly pick six that gave Utah a 2-touchdown lead. Jake Butt comes in motion, I formation. Davion Smith dotting the I. Rudock hands it off to Smith, who tries to get through the first hole and gets tripped up by an offensive lineman who was tangled up. That was actually Joe Carriage, who was engaged with Utah linebacker Jared Norris. Pick up a 3 yards on the play. Michigan goes hurry up, empty backfield. Rudock quickly readies. Takes the snap, drops back, fires out to the left side. Davion Smith left unguarded and he dropped it. Davion Smith had no one within 10 yards of him and turned upfield before securing the catch. A crucial mistake there as he easily had the first down. And that's a tough break as Davion Smith was wide open and he simply didn't secure the ball before turning upfield. So now a 3rd and 7, 7:25 left to go in the game. This is essentially the ball game for Michigan. These next two plays, if they can't pick up the first down here. Ty Isaac in the backfield is the blocking back. 2 receivers out wide to the right, 1 to the left. Rudock takes the snap, drops back. He has time. Fires to Jake Butt, who's open, gets through the first tackle, gets across midfield, fighting his way downfield, out of bounds along the sideline into Utah territory, where he's finally brought down at the Utah 44-yard line. A big pickup there. And it moves the chains with 7:17 left to go in the fourth quarter. Utah on top, 24-10. Michigan needs 2 scores, so they need to score here quickly. Jake Rudock, 3 interceptions so far in this game, cannot afford another one. 2 receivers out wide to the right, 1 to the left. Ty Isaac in the backfield. Shotgun snap taken by Rudock, drops back, looking, has time, now decides to tuck it and run upfield, gains a few yards before being tackled down, pick up a 4, and there's a flag on the field. I think this was a free play for Michigan. I think they might have got an offense or a defensive end to jump on that snap. Hunter Dimick was in the neutral zone on the snap, so they will accept the penalty. It was a pickup of just 4. Instead, it will be 1st and 5 now from the Utah 39-yard line after the neutral zone infraction by Hunter Dimick. Michigan quickly to the line, waiting to snap the ball. 6:47 left to go in the game, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Rudock in the shotgun, Ty Isaac to his left. Grant Perry, the motion man. Takes the snap, another Utah defender jump. Rudock will fire this one out to the flats. Ty Isaac picks up the screen pass and picks up 4, maybe 5 yards. We'll see where they spot this one. It'll be 2 yards short of the first down marker. Harbaugh wanted another yard on it. He will not get it. 2nd and 2. Tyrone Wheatley talking to Isaac after the play. He had just 1 man to beat, and I think a better route run there, he probably gets the first down. Instead, it's 2nd and 2. 6:15 left to go in the ball game. Michigan down by 2 touchdowns. 2 receivers out wide to the right, 1 to the left. Rudock in the shotgun takes the snap, firing out wide to the right. Darboh needs a block from Perry, doesn't get it. Scooting backwards, fighting for that first down marker, and he's brought down about a half yard short. A bit too much dancing, just needed to get upfield, and Grant Perry not doing a good enough job getting a block, and Michigan will quickly hurry up back to the line for this 3rd and 1 on the Utah 35-yard line with 5:45 left to go in the contest. Rudock under center for this one. Simple QB keeper pushing forward, and I don't think he got it based on the initial snap or based on the initial spot. And they will rule him about a half yard short. 4th and 1. This is the ball game for Michigan. $5:20 left on the game clock as it continues to wind down. Michigan will take a timeout to think things over here. 5:14 left to go in the game. The ball game comes down to this play in a moment. 5:13 with the time stopped, with Michigan calling their 2nd timeout of the half. Trailing 24-10. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football Welcome back to WCBN sports coverage of Michigan football. 5:13 left to go in the game. Utah on top of Michigan, 24-10. 4th and 1 from the Utah 35-yard line. This play effectively the ball game if Utah gets a stop here. Just one receiver split out wide to the left for Michigan. Rudock will be under center with Davion Smith and Joe Carrot in the backfield. Carrot's the fullback. Davion Smith, the halfback. Rudock under center. Jumbo set to the right side of the offensive line. Trying to draw a Utah defender off sides. Not biting. Takes the snap. Hands it off to Smith. Smith fighting his way and stuck. No gain for Davion Smith. The Utah defense holds, and the Utes take over with 5:08 left to go in the ballgame. Utah's defense comes up strong when they need them most, and the Utes get the stop and force a turnover on downs. On a run that really never had a chance, Davion Smith not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and Utah will take over on downs. .508 left to play. Michigan down to just one timeout, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Utah with the football. Wilson takes the snap, hands it off to Booker, and he's got a lot of room. Running right down the middle of the field, tackled right on the U at midfield. A 15-yard pickup on first down to move the chains. Michigan's defense needs a turnover. Utah just needs to keep running the football. Up by 2 scores, Utah in no hurry. Michigan's defense has done pretty well against the run. Devontae Booker held to just 65 yards, but he's given them enough. And the passing attack, led by Travis Wilson, has put Utah in good shape. But their defense really the story of tonight's game. The pick 6 to just about seal it, and then the stuff a moment ago when Michigan was looking to drive and get a first down on 4th and 1. A handoff to Booker there, picks up another 5, and that'll eat away more clock. The next snap will come with under 4 minutes left to play in the ballgame. Certainly many coachable moments for Michigan, particularly Jake Rudock, who had 3 interceptions and had 3 overthrows that proved costly as he missed a few targets by a few yards on wide open touchdown running routes. Utah gets to the line of scrimmage with 3:50 left to go in the game, leading by 2 touchdowns. Fans starting to funnel out as Travis Wilson will keep it this time on the fake handoff, stopped about 3 yards short of the mark to gain. But that will just eat more clock on this game as it winds to a close. 3:25 now left to play in the contest. Utah on top 24-10 over Michigan, and Jim Harbaugh's debut for the Wolverines. Utah just now breaking the huddle with 7 seconds left on the play clock. They'll snap this with under 3 minutes left to play. Wilson takes the snap, keeps it, rushing out to the right side, needs to beat a man and doesn't do that. Jabril Peppers needed to make that tackle and does. And Michigan will use their last time out of the game with 2:53 left to go in the contest. Utah will punt it from the Michigan 44-yard line and look to pin the Wolverines deep. A mountain perhaps too high to climb for Michigan at this point in the game with under 3 minutes left to play, trailing 24-10. Jabril Peppers will be back deep to receive. Not the start Michigan fans had hoped for in Jim Harbaugh's debut, but certainly a lot of things to leave Wolverines fans smiling and a lot of things to leave them shaking their head. The 3 interceptions most notable for the things that will frustrate the Michigan faithful. Punt is high and deep and heading towards the corner. Unfortunately, out of the end zone for a touchback. Tom Hackett cannot believe it. He was sure it went out of bounds deep in the corner, but instead it goes out of bounds. So Michigan will start this drive on their own 20-yard line with 2:46 left to go in the game. Tom Hackett cannot believe that decision. It was so close. You're not going to get a camera angle that really tells you one way or the other. But Michigan perhaps caught a break there because it was either going to be a touchback or about the 2-yard line where Michigan starts this drive. They'll take it at the 20. Two receivers out wide to the left, one to the right for Rudock. 2:46 left to go, needing 2 touchdowns. Wolverines got to hurry and got to go deep early. Rudock takes the snap, drops back, has time, firing quickly to Grant Perry, tries to get out of bounds, unable to do so. Michigan will have to hurry back to the line and pick up a 4 on that one. Michigan still going into a quick huddle. Really don't have time to do that. 2:20 left to go in the game before they'll even get this snap off. Rudock takes the snap, drops back. Dimmick coming in with pressure. Fires and connects with Jehu Chesson, getting upfield for the first down. A pickup of about 10 on that one to get to the Utah 35-yard line. Stops the clock for a moment to move the chains with 2:12 left to play. Michigan trailing by 2 scores. Utah fans still continuing to file out. Finally, Rudock takes a snap with 2:02 left to go in the game. Firing it over the middle, juggled, and Jake Butt just hangs on to it, getting to midfield, and Michigan will move the chains and hurry quickly. Under 2 minutes left to go. Michigan needing 2 scores. They've got to hurry. Rudock orders instructions to his line. Chains are set. Clock is ticking. Under 1:50 left to play. Rudock takes the snap, drops back, looking, firing again over the middle in the direction of Amara Darbo, and it was nearly undercut for an interception by Gianni Paul for the Utes. Instead, it falls harmlessly incomplete. A nice chance for the Michigan offense to catch their breaths here with 1:44 left to play. They need a score in the next 30 seconds or so to give themselves any realistic chance. They're going to need an onside kick as well, but first things first, they got to get a touchdown to cut it down to a 7-point lead. Rudock in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Looking. Rusher coming off the edge, just trying desperately to throw it away in the direction of Jake Butt. 3rd and 10 now, 1:38 to go. Utah's defense starting to just barrel down, pin their ears back, and rush the quarterback as best they can here in Sac Lake City. (24-10) the score in favor of the Utah Utes over Michigan and Jim Harbaugh's debut with 1:38 left to go. 3rd and 10, 3 receivers split out wide to the left for Jake Rudock. He takes the snap, drops back, has time, now forced to rush. He's got room down the left side if he decides to tuck it and run. He'll do just that, and he's forced out of bounds after a pickup of about 4, setting up a 4th and 6. It was Jared Norris there to force the Michigan quarterback out of bounds. He came from his middle linebacker spot. Otherwise, that could have been a first down pickup. Rudock wisely goes out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:30 left to go. Michigan down to no timeouts, so they've got to pick up the first down here or the game is over. They trail by 2 scores, so it's a uphill battle from here anyway, but they got to get a first down to keep any chance alive. Rudock in the shotgun. 2 receivers out to his left. Takes the snap, drops back. Pressure coming, firing it over the middle, connects with Grant Perry to pick up the first down. A pickup of 10 there. A huge connection between the 5th-year graduate transfer and the true freshman Perry to move the chain. Clock is running despite the chains being moved. Clock ran throughout that entire sequence. Tough break against the Wolverines. None of the coaching staff seemed to catch it. Rudock dropping back, firing over the middle to Perry, who's drilled as he connects and makes the catch at the 10-yard line. That'll stop the clock. 1:08 left to go in the game. Michigan trailing by 2 scores, but they're now in the 1st and goal situation on the 10 of Utah. Michigan hurrying to the line. They've got to get a touchdown here, and they've got to go quickly. The clock running. 1:03, 1:02, 1. Under a minute left to play in the contest. Rudock finally takes the snap. Looking to his right. firing over the middle. Connect. Amara Darbo hauls it in for 6. And Michigan cuts the lead down to 8. And with the PAT, it'll be a touchdown differential between them and Utah. 54 seconds left to play. A nice little drive there by Michigan. They've left themselves enough time that with an onside kick, they'll have a chance, but it's going to come down to that onside kick in a matter of moments. 54 seconds left to play. 24 for Utah, 16 for Michigan with the PAT pending from Kenny Allen. Snap good. Kick is up, and it is good for Kenny Allen. So 7 points separate Michigan and Utah. Michigan will kick this one off with 54 seconds left, no timeout, so it comes down to the onside kick. But give Michigan credit. The fifth-year graduate transfer, Jake Rudock, drives them down the field. Drive took 1:52, 9 plays, 80 yards to bring the Wolverines within a touchdown. Now that pick six weighing heavily on the minds of Michigan fans. As Michigan was within a touchdown before the pick six to Justin Thomas, he ran it back for 6 to make it a 2-score game. Michigan's cut it back down to 1, so give the Wolverines credit. They've really battled here. But it's going to come down to an onside kick. Regardless, I think there's a lot for Michigan fans to be happy about because this is a much improved team from a year ago, despite the result if they lose this contest. And even if they win this contest, I think either way you see a lot of improvement from what you saw at the end of last year. However, Jim Harbaugh on his side will only be happy with a victory, and they've put themselves in a position where they have a chance. Kenny Allen will attempt the onside kick with 54 seconds left. The ball will be kicked off from the Michigan 35-yard line. 54 seconds left, no timeouts for Michigan, so it will come down to this. Kenny Allen lined up on the right side, appearing like he will kick it towards the left. 6 Wolverines on the left side. Allen kicks it up high and too far, but Utah took a timeout before the kick. That would not have been the result Michigan had hoped, as that ball had no prayer of staying in the field of play and would have simply bounced out of bounds. Michigan fortunate with the timeout there because Kenny Allen did not do very well with that kick. .54 seconds left to play, 24-17 the score in favor of Utah. Michigan with a touchdown from Jake Rudock to Amara Darbo. Darbo's third touchdown of his career for Michigan. Cuts the lead down to 7 with 54 seconds left to play. Michigan will attempt the onside kick once more. Utah still has 2 timeouts left to use if they so choose. We'll see if Michigan comes out with anything different here. Doesn't appear so. 6 Wolverines out to the left of Kenny Allen. He readies his side. Kicks this one up. Takes a good hop. Just no one there for Michigan. It goes harmlessly out of bounds. Not the kick that Michigan needed. Kenny Allen just didn't get the hop he had hoped for. And Utah will take over and win the football game. 54 seconds left to play. Utah on top, 24-17, and now a mass exodus begins in this stadium as Utah has secured victory over Michigan for the 3rd straight time. Utah simply will kneel it down twice, and the ball game will be over. Jake Rudock will finish the game 27 of 43, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, none being more costly than his last one, which was a pick six, which ultimately was the deciding score in this game. Davion Smith led the way for Michigan on the rushing attack, 17 attempts, 47 yards. And for Utah, Travis Wilson, a great game, 24 of 33, never found the end zone, just 1 interception, but he managed the game well. And Devontae Booker held under 100 yards, 22 attempts, 69 yards. It was really Utah's defense came up to play. Michigan's defense struggled at times, and the Utah Utes will come away victorious in Jim Harbaugh's debut for the Wolverines. The final score from Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City, Utah, Utah 24, Michigan 17. You've been listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan football. I'm Leo Blavin. Wishing you a good night and go blue from Jim Harbaugh's debut. Again, the final score from Salt Lake City, Utah 24, Michigan 17. So long.